We're going to be joined today by American Egyptian Usama Dakdok. He speaks Arabic fluently. He has translated the Quran from Arabic into perfect English for us to understand. I'm bringing him on today because I want to continue talking about the threat of Islam to America, obviously what it has done to Iran and to his home country, Egypt. Many people in America, I don't think, know that Iran is not traditionally an Islamic country. Many of the people there, the Persians, they hate Islam. Now, the question by many is, should America get involved in what's happening over there? I made it clear I don't think we should have boots on the ground. But I also believe that if we do not confront the Iranian regime, we are going to increasingly see them spread not only into other countries, as we've seen them doing in Venezuela, in our backyard and other places, but they're going to continue to set up their military bases in America. That goes for Saudi Arabia and Qatar, by the way. And let's make it very clear. Most of these mosques are just that. They are not just houses of worship. They are military bases. They are military arsenals as well. So at what point do you say we must confront this growing threat of Islam? They're taking over America, folks. They're building mosques. They're building compounds left and right. They have their terror cells here. We know that from federal trials. And so the question is, are we inviting a terrorist attack by confronting them? That has been a legitimate concern. That has been one of mine. But now we're reaching a level where it seems like we have no choice but to respond. We can't just simply let Islam take over our hemisphere or the country. That is their goal, and they're willing to die for it. They're willing to die to accomplish that global goal. So at what point do we confront Islam in Iran and in other countries, particularly when they are funding some of the protests and the chaos in the streets of America? And don't think for 1 minute it's just the CCP doing it. We can promise you it's not. Someone said, but Brandon, do you want World War III? And my response is, it's already started. Most Americans don't know that yet, but World War III has been going on for some time. Financial wars, drug wars, border wars, cyber wars, it's already happening. October 7th. Have we forgotten this was largely funded by Iran? Have we forgotten they said on that very day that they want to repeat what they did in Israel over and over and over and bring it even to America? So at what point do we continue to say, well, we can't get involved? We're already involved. That's the point. Yet most Americans don't know this because of the lamestream media that is apparently not only bought and paid for by the Islamists, but also by the Marxists, the cultural Marxists. And let's not forget, one reason why you're not getting the coverage on most of your lamestream media outlets is because most of those networks have the same worldview as these groups. They hate America. They hate the idea of natural law, the laws of nature and nature's God. They hate the free market system. They hate Christians. They hate Christianity. They hate God. They hate the Bible. Many of them totally agree with the agenda of bringing down the West. And if they're willing to use the Islamic societies and organizations here in America as the junkyard dogs to de-Christianize and destroy the West, then so be it. After all, isn't their goal build back better? Don't you build something back after you've destroyed what was previously there? And that's what they're doing. Now, I know we're busy rounding up illegal aliens in America. The question is, how many of them are Muslims? I know that President Trump is going after the Somalis. Many of them are Muslims, and good for him. Those that are here illegally, they should be gone. They should be taken out. The question is, though, are we focusing on these mosques? Are we focusing on the illegal aliens, many of them that are Muslims, or other than Somalis, are most of them getting a pass? Are we just targeting the Latinos and the Hispanics? Well, that's still illegal immigration. My real concern are the illegals that are here that have the agenda of cultural jihad, and even worse than cultural jihad. So there is a debate in the MAGA world, in the America First world, in the conservative world, in the Christian world. How much should America be doing? President Trump said he wanted to be the peace president. Well, sometimes you have to fight wars in order to maintain peace in your own society. And of course, he has said he doesn't want to see boots on the ground. Last night, we saw CBS News, a reporter telling him at a factory about the hangings. He said he did not know about the hangings. He drew another red line, said they better not do that. The president's drawn a lot of red lines. We're almost now to a point where we have no choice but to respond if we want to be taken seriously on the world stage by these communist and Islamic regimes. Killings, many of the freedom fighters, now CBS News reporting up to 20,000. This was initially a red line. Then hanging was a red line. I think the president has no choice but to respond for that reason alone now. Reports are that the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff went and was at the White House last night. There are now reports that the president has been given 50 different target sites in Iran. There's also reports that we are moving military personnel in the region of the Middle East around to protect them because Iran is saying if you attack us, we're going to hit your assets in the Middle East. We all knew this was coming. It's inevitable. Joining me now to discuss it is Usama Dakdok. Usama, thanks for being with us. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us.
Thanks, Brandon. It's always my joy to be with you and all your wonderful audience.
What do you make of my little short opening monologue, those points?
Yeah, you're right on the money. I lost for a few seconds because of the access to my internet here, but I think there will always be in the history of humanity some bullies, and depend how you work and retrieve these the strengths of your thinking towards this bullies. The rest of the world will react. So we saw what Mr. Trump did with Venezuela, and wow, what a great job. To the point, no problem at all. And as obviously the liberals will see that now we're becoming the police of the world. And I'm not surprised that they will reject anything and everything Mr. Trump will do, when in reality they would love to be in many wars all over the world. At least Trump is not doing it to put soldiers in harm's way in anywhere, but he will show that we are looking for peaceful relationship through strengths, which means you're not going to be bullying. And believe me, the whole Middle East, the whole Muslim world are watching what Trump will do with Iran. And I hope and I pray that he will continue to do what he's doing, because I don't want to have Obama in the White House when it comes to Iran. We had that golden opportunity to free the people of Iran 20 some years ago under Barack Hussein Obama, who just simply looked the other way and he ignored the cry out of the Iranian people. Help us, free us from the mullah. By the way, it is us under Jimmy Carter who put Iran into the hell they are living in the last 40 some years, because we removed the Shah and we put Khomeini and the Muslim Brotherhood into that land. So I think it's a perfect time for Mr. Trump to show the strength of the United States of America, not to go on a long war. I don't want to have soldiers once, because believe me, Brother Brandon, in the Quran, there are verses where Muslims believe in. That they believe that Allah told them that they will have victory when they go to war. Quran chapter 8, verse 65 and 67. And when Allah said, if 20 of you steadfast, they will have victory over 200. He changed his mind later, if 100 will be having victory over 200. So since they believe in that, they cannot wait to see American soldiers in their land, not just Iran, many other countries, so they can fight, so they can win, to prove that Islam is right and Muhammad is right. I don't want to see America in this type of war where soldiers on the ground just drop every power bombs you got on them, annihilate them without losing one drop of blood of an American soldier. And that's how you will show the strength against all the Muslim agenda and the bullies of the Middle East.
Do you agree that we're already in World War III? Do you agree that you agree with that?
Absolutely. That war started by the Muslims and will never stop. I mean, they are just playing the game around Israel. Hopefully, they can draw America, but I think their hope is built on a lie because they once again they think that we're gonna go there, we're gonna go on war, they're gonna kill some of us, and in their belief, in their ideology, if we kill 1,000 Iranian mullahs, jihadis, be with them. If we kill 1,000 of them and they kill 1 or 2 American soldiers, that's a victory. No, we're not gonna give them the chance to harm us or our people. Just nuke the daylight out of them and teach the rest of the Muslim world a good lesson. That is my hope and my dream, how Mr. Trump will handle that war. But the war started on October 7th. Actually, it was there for a long time. They just do it in the early stages to move on to a higher level of war.
So to those who say, look, if we get involved over there now, we may find ourselves in World War III. Again, I would say we're already involved in World War III. At what point do we not fight back and start resisting these people and eliminating them? They are already setting up military bases in our country. How many of the mosques in America do you believe, from the Quran, from the Hadiths, these mosques are indeed armories, military armories and training centers? True or false? And how much is Iran, do you think, funding some of these mosques and or funding some of the street protesters along with the CCP and others, enemies foreign and domestic?
Yes, indeed. And yes, indeed. The Muslims are united in America. I challenge you, Brandon, to go to any of these hundreds of mosques all over this country, thousands of them, and you ask the question, are you a Shia mosque or are you a Sunni mosque? I've done that every time I go to a mosque, and the answer is no. We're a Muslim. They're united. So you think that there are some Muslims in Saudi who are wonderful people, they're not really for jihad. Hogwash. Every Muslim in Saudi they're Muslims. So they believe they can perform jihad with their money, Saudi money, Qatari money, or with their life. Anybody else will carry the weapon to shout Allah Akbar for the sake of Allah. So all these mosques in America, Brother Brandon, we have to understand that Islam is not a religion. Islam is not a spiritual movement. There are more politics in Islam than religion. No kidding. Over 80% of Islam is politics. When I say politics, I'm talking about war. They're here to dominate America. They're here to infiltrate America. They're here to take over America. How? Well, you tell me, they're going to hug the American people? They're going to kiss the gay and lesbian for a long time, and then we're going to love them? Of course not. They're here to perform jihad. They're doing it in different stages and different levels. The problem is we do not understand Islam. We have never read the Quran. A simple reading to the Quran will show you it is a cult which spread by the edge of the sword. And they do it in the early stages in a new land through what we call taqiyya, Quran 3:28, which is they pretend to be what they're not. And if we leave them alone, like we see now in Texas, New York, and many other places in America, now they show the real color. But if we wait until we learn the true nature of Islam from their action, not from the word of Allah, not from their writings, not from their ideology, then it will be too late. You cannot fix it. They are here to invade America. Invade. Let me think about it.
Hold right there. I don't want you to miss anything. The computer's going to take it away. And then I want to ask you about MEK. Usama, don't go away.
Introducing the Norwex Tub and Tile Cleaning Attachments. Your new all-in-one solution for stubborn, dirt, grime, soap scum, and more is here. It includes a heavy-duty bristle brush for tackling stubborn stains and stuck-on messes. Plus, a microfiber attachment that gently removes soap scum and water deposits. Each head is shaped to get into hard-to-reach areas and tough corners. It even swivels 180 degrees for thorough cleaning high and low, all without the harsh chemicals. Best of all, it's easy to customize your clean. Attach the durable joint to either the telescopic mop handle or the multi-use handle. Slide on your attachment of choice and scrub away. The Norwex Tub and Tile Cleaning Attachments. Cleaner, safer, better.
You're watching Worldview 2, built on the 35 years of Worldview books, documentaries, research, high-profile interviews, and the radio and television broadcasts of Brannon House.
All right, welcome back. Glad you're with us. Worldview Radio, website worldviewradio.com, worldviewradio.com. Usama Dakdok is my guest, and his website is thestraightway.org. I think for a minute, thestraightway.org. All right, Usama, let's pick it up with Iran is not traditionally an Islamic country. Most Americans don't know that. They also don't know that about Egypt. So we see that Islam goes in and then they dominate and they take over. That's going to happen in America. I mean, we've got all of these Islamists being elected left and right, Mamdani and the rest of them. Iran and Egypt, your home country of Egypt, a country you can't even go back to. They would arrest you once you got off the plane in the airport. You wouldn't even make it out of the airport without you being arrested because of the stuff you're saying on radio, television, and satellite around the world. Explain to those, not our alumni, but any new people, because the audience is really growing, by the way.
Sure.
Explain to the new people the history of Iran, the history of Egypt, and Islam coming in and taking over countries.
It's actually one circle. It kept repeat itself in 56 countries who were not Muslims, and amazingly they're all Muslims with majority 80, 90 or even more percentage. Think about how even Islam got out of the Saudi Arabia Peninsula to Egypt, where they do not speak Egyptian at the time, did not spoke the Arabic language, and they did not come to us with a Holy Quran translated into the Coptic language. As a matter of fact, the Muslim world expand all over North Africa, all the way to Morocco, to Spain, all over Middle East, to Turkey, and they went to the heart of France without a book. It's called the Quran. How Islam spread in all these foreign lands without any material, without any teaching. It's just simply, it's amazing thing. People don't even think about it. There are only 13% of the Muslim world are Arab, which are literally included in the Saudi Arabia Peninsula. And Muhammad, according to the history of Islam, was able to take over these countries within, 20 years during the Khalifa Abu Bakr and maybe a little bit of Omar and then Osman. But how Islam spread all over the world, it's the same story. They go there, nice people, immigrant, we call them refugees, whatever you want to call them, and slowly they get involved into the government, seeking some early steps of needs, and then they start represent themselves in the government, and then they take over by the military, and then you see the bloodshed and the killing and the raping of women. It is the same story. If you look at the history of Egypt or the same history of any other non-Muslim country, that's how they began. There is not evangelism or Muslimization by the word of God and the message of Islam. There's no message in Islam. As a matter of fact, when Muslims today get to learn the truth about Islam, that's when they leave Islam. How the mullah took over. Iran was a moderate country up to just a few years ago. In Carter days, early days, do you see women in Iran in bikini? There was no hijab. All what we did, Obama did the same thing, by the way, in Egypt just 20 years ago when he gave my home country to the Muslim Brotherhood, removing President Mubarak from power. That's exactly what Jimmy Carter, that great Sunday school teacher, I don't know how he became a president. I mean, literally,
the great Sunday school teacher. And I don't know how he became president. I don't either, but he did.
But anyway, so he helped the Khomeini to take over Iran, and behold, in few hours, not few weeks or few days, Iran became the Islamic Iran, from a moderate country where you go look at some of the pictures of the country of Iran before Khomeini and after Khomeini.
They had disco centers. I saw video footage today where you would think you were in a major American city, and they had discotheques, and people are out there doing the old disco thing they did in the 70s with the disco ball and all that kind of thing. And they, like you said, they're wearing two-piece bathing suits. The fashion was high end. And of course, now, of course, you're covered head to toe, unless, of course, you want to be whipped and beaten.
But I believe there's hope. I believe within the next few hours, if not the next few days, we're going to see Iran change. Sadly, the damage, the brainwashing, the the culture shock change happened in that country, which happened so quick. It would take a long time to bring it back to modernism and freedom and liberty. We know for sure that there are millions of Muslim Iranians already left Islam. The sad thing, they're becoming atheists. And because we as a Christian do not have the freedom to go and share with them the love of Christ, they are going to die as an atheist or agnostics, whatever, and to spend eternity with Muhammad and the Muslim people in hell. Maybe if the Iranian people can be set free, we can see a great evangelism ministry in the country of Iran, in Tehran, all over the country, and many of the millions of lost Muslims will become a Christian because they're thirsty for the truth. They're thirsty for freedom. And we know for sure that freedom cannot be found except in Christ. And Christ, he is the one, the Son, who can set us free indeed.
Well, amen to that. Now, let's not forget, let's go back to President Trump. This is September 24th, 2024. September 24th, 2024. Big threats on my life by Iran. The entire U.S. military is watching and waiting. Moves were already made by Iran that didn't work out, but they will try again. Not a good situation for anyone. I'm surrounded by more men, guns, and weapons than I've ever seen before. Thank you to Congress for unanimously approving far more money to Secret Service. 0 no votes. Strictly bipartisan. Nice to see Republicans and Democrats get together on something. An attack on a former president is a death wish for the attacker. Okay, there's so much going on. Tell me your thoughts about Iran funding some of the protests we're seeing in the streets, sending in terror cells, buying off media personalities, separating that from Qatar or Saudi Arabia. How much is involved with Iran doing this?
Oh, Iran is doing too much. Amazingly, even when they are really suffering economically, they still want to perform their duty before Allah, to honor Allah. And it is so sad, Brother Brandon. If you think about those Irani who does not even speak the Arabic language, I mean, for heaven's sake, what if they were Arab? What if they were have some knowledge and understanding of Islam? There would be a great, with the big atomic bomb in the world. But even with their limited knowledge about Islam, they're Muslims. They're led by the spirit of Allah, the spirit of Satan. And they were helping not only the Hezbollah in Lebanon, who are Shia like them, they were helping Hamas, who are Sunni. I mean, literally, if there was no Israel in that piece of land, it would be Irani killing Hamas members. Imagine with me, if there was no Israel in Gaza or in Israel, if there were no Jewish people there, the Irani would be killing the members of Hamas, but they support them. Why? For the main goal, the ultimate goal, the great goal, wipe out Israel. And it's not going to stop there. I mean, literally, if you think about it, none of the Muslim in the Middle East, the Sunni, like Iran. Why Saudi Arabia sought to gain power and thought weaponry with billions of dollars to buy from the United States is because they're afraid of Iran. Why the Saudis supporting Israel? Because they're afraid of Iran. So, and not just Saudi, the Egyptians the same way. Irani are maniac, are crazy people, and if they would be able to contain and make the nuclear bomb, they will be wiping out all the Sunni countries in the neighborhood. And that's a norm, by the way. We're not talking just about Shia versus Sunni, but even Sunni versus Shia. Sunni and Shia have been killing each other, Brandon, for the last 1,460 years. From the day Muhammad died until today, there is war between Shia and Sunni. There are more Muslims killed by the other hands of other Muslims than any foreigner infidels ever killed Muslims. And that war will never stop. So now the Muslim world, the Sunni are taking a breath. They feel better. Yes, they don't have nuclear. But if you can wipe them out, oh man, that will be even greater joy. So it is not like only the liberals do not like what Trump is doing there. Now we have to understand Muslim, strong countries, Sunni Muslims in the Middle East cannot wait for Israel and United States to finish the job and free the Irani from the mullah, because they are dangerous for their own people and they're dangerous for the neighboring Muslim Sunni countries. But Irani will do anything they can to support anyone to wipe out a one Jew.
Now, you and I and Shahram in 2017 exposed the danger of interfaith dialogue between Yasser Qadi, who now has moved from living down the street from our studio with his mosque. Now he's in Plano, Texas, building a 400 some odd acre compound. He had his interfaith dialogue in a church with James White, as everybody remembers. New people are being caught up now. And one of our detractors was a guy named Justin Peters, who used to speak for us until we found out what his real worldview was. Not only the hyper-Calvinism, but other things as well. Because he's the one that went on a video and said, Islam is not a threat to the church. Yet someone showed me a tweet he put out on the 13th saying, wow, may this evil regime soon meet its demise. And it was a video of the people in the streets of Iran. Now, why would someone like Justin care about what Islam is doing in that regime? If Islam is not a threat to the church in America, and we should be concerned about it, why is he concerned about what's going on in the ground in Iran? That seems a little contradictory, does it not?
Well, I believe when he made his early remarks, he was 100% dead wrong, and it was result of ignorancy. And that's okay. We all make mistakes. None of us is perfect. When he made the statement that there's no problem, there's no threats of Islam against the church in America. I remember we have these different shows. We did the three of us together. And I said, wait a minute. You should go and look at what the Muslim did to the Church of Egypt. I mean, literally, if you cannot understand the history of yesterday, yesterday will be your tomorrow. This is fact. This is a factual truth. You cannot hide from it. So obviously, he made some foolish statement, ignorance.
Well, he didn't like a foolish statement. He doubled down, made videos defending it.
Well, I can say foolish statements with pride, it's even make it worse. I mean, sometimes we make mistakes, and because of we have so much pride, and we think that we know it all, and then you continue to persist that what you said is true. You make yourself look dumber or stupider, if there's a word for it in English. But anyway,
let me ask you this: but isn't that really the problem with the modern church in America? That they think Islam is not a threat to the church, it's not a threat to America per se, the church in America. And that's over there. But that's over there. And we don't like that over there. Are they so ignorant not to realize that what they're dealing with in the regime of Iran, it didn't start out like that, as we've already described. What they're doing in America right now is how it started in Iran. They infiltrated the universities. And then they infiltrated the media. And then they infiltrate power centers. And we have young Iranians like Annie Cyrus and others I don't know, who are on social media saying, as a young Iranian, I'm telling you now, what you see happening in America is how it started in Iran. I lived through it, and it seems like it's starting all over here again. Why do so-called Christians always want to wait until we're either under communism or Islam or both? And then they want to speak up. But those of us that try to warn of their jihad tactics, their cultural jihad tactics, we're called, well, you don't love the Muslim. You know, we're doing evangelism. Oh, James White, he gets a pass because of his long track record. This is why Christians, by and large, in America are not part of the solution. They're part of the problem. I want you to address that, and particularly in relation to Egypt and Iran. And those saying this is how it started in those countries and it's now happening here. Then I want you to address the issue I've already teased once, and that is MEK, this group being praised by so many in the MAGA or Republican GOP world. We'll be right back.
News is moving faster than ever, and so are we. Worldview Tube brings you 24/7 live stream coverage and now real-time alerts when it matters most. Once you have the Worldview Tube app installed, exit the app and navigate your way to Settings. In Settings, locate the tab labeled Notifications. Select the Notifications tab. Scroll down until you locate the Worldview Tube app icon. Select the tab, and here you can turn on and customize your notification experience for the Worldview Tube app. News doesn't wait, and neither should you. Turn on push notifications to stay informed. Every headline as it happens.
You're watching Worldview 2, built on the 35 years of Worldview books, documentaries, research, high-profile interviews, and the radio and television broadcasts of Brannon House.
All right, welcome back. So let me remind you, stay tuned for Crosstalk. Coming up at the top of the hour, I'm laughing because I'm looking over at Dolly, and she's laying on her side with her head up, staring at the 85-inch TV in front of me, like she's actually paying attention and enjoying the show while she lounges. Be sure to stay tuned for Crosstalk coming up at top of the hour on the VCY American Network. If you're on one of their terrestrial stations, stay right there. If not, you can find it at vcy.org, vcy.org. By the way, my granddaughter, 18 months old, just turned 18 months old, in the studio 2 nights ago. If you want to see the video that so many people are commenting on, it's at worldviewtube.com. Started out the broadcast with her sitting here in my lap, and we were going through flashcards. In fact, I still have them here. And I was showing her, remember she's 18 months old, and I would show her a flashcard in like owl, bunny, what else did she do here? Ice cream, apple, cat, she knows all these. Okay, you will see her putting together multiple words, singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. My wife and daughter were telling me this morning, 18 months old, they can normally know a few words. This child knows multiple words. And then maybe at 2 or a little older, they can start stringing words together. This child is stringing multiple words together. She's 18 months old. Okay, I'm a grandfather. I'm biased, whatever, right? But it's remarkable. Are you laughing at me, Logan? Oh, that's Usama laughing at me?
That's me. I'm sorry, man.
Okay.
I didn't mean to. I cannot wait
she
to hold my
can be dumb as a box of rocks, and I would say otherwise, right? But she's not, okay? She's not. And it's provable from the video. It's at worldviewtube.com. It's the cutest thing in the world. And, I was talking to her this morning while she was eating her yogurt, and we were singing Sticky, Sticky Bubblegum and other songs. She is just a delight. And I'm having the best time with them visiting. And but anyway, if you guys want to see a little bit softer side of Mr. House, because we do deal with some pretty serious topics, and I know
you're not mean all the time.
No, I'm not mean all the time. I'm never mean. I'm just passionate. So that's kind of what I'm saying. If you want to see a softer side, go to Worldview Tube. Watch me with my granddaughter. There you go. All right. Wait till she's 16 and wants a car. Who do you think she'll ask? Her mom and dad or her grandpa? All right. She's going to come to grandpa for everything, and he's going to have a hard time saying no. But here we go. Let's get back to serious stuff. MEK. Well, no, let's address what we're talking about. These people are saying, like Annie and others online, I don't know. Oh, by the way, we just got noticed during the break of a former MEK member who is in Germany willing to come on our broadcast to warn about MEK. But I want to get that in a minute. But aren't Americans kind of like that? Oh, Islam's not a threat. Islam's not a threat. Islam's not a threat to the church. But we're concerned about what's happening to Iran. Do they not realize that what's happening now with Mamdani, interfaith dialogue, laying the foundation, all of this, these are the steps to become like Iran or Egypt, right?
Yeah. Well, Brian, I would say this in a simple story or parable so the American people can understand. You and I hope and I pray this will never happen to you or me, that our wives have a small lump on their chest somewhere on their breast. And so it's just a lump, no big deal. But if we go to a doctor and they do their work and do their study and find it's a cancer, it's a big deal. The problem with the American church, I would say the naive, gullible Christians in this land is they don't know jack about Islam. They don't know anything about the history of Islam. They don't know how Islam started years ago and how it spread from one location to another, from one country to another. Therefore, they don't see anything problem with Islam in America. But for a guy like you or I, when we know what Islam is, wait a minute, that is cancer. And when you allow cancer to spread in America, it would destroy America. And the problem is our politicians, liberal ones, and the media, and sadly, liberal churches do not know how to call it cancer. They just give it some other name. As I have always said, if you don't name it right, it will kill you. So is it just some radical extreme? No, it is Islam. You cannot say it more than that. Read the Quran. So these are loving Muslim people. There is no loving Muslim people. Well, these are nice guys. There is no nice guy. When you are a Muslim, you are a submitter to what? To Allah and His words. to Muhammad and his teaching. Now, what do you know about Allah? Nothing. What do you know about the Quran? Nothing. What do you know about Muhammad? Nothing. Well, thank you. That's now why it makes sense that you could not see anything wrong with Islam in America. But we're talking about the bad ones in Iran. Excuse me. You don't have a clue how many Muslim Irani, Shia and Sunni from all over the world who came to this country under Biden for the 4 years. We may have not 19, like the number of the 19 hijack of September 11, not 1,900, not 19,000, maybe 190,000, or maybe more, who crossed our border, who came in airplane to our country because they download some app was given to them by Biden and his team. This is a problem. We do not know Islam. We do not know how many of these real Muslim believers in America. And we're just concerned about Iran. Man, if we fight the war in Iran and we free the Iranian people, and all the Iranian people got really freed by knowing Christ as Lord and Savior, now become the Christian land of Iran, and we lose America, we lost everything. Why? Because what man gained if he won the whole world and lost his soul? America will fall from within simply because of those Christians who do not know jack about Islam and who will defend these wonderful, loving Muslim people who live in America. God help us.
All right, now tell us about what you know. We did a big segment last night with Annie on MEK. What do you know about MEK? Because we have a lot of RNC, GOP, some America First people that are just jumping up and down supporting MEK, which is a Marxist Islamic group that, according to a report that I showed last night, this is a group that was designated as a foreign terrorist organization. Here's a report from the Congressional Research Service from February of 2025. This is not even a year old yet. And it talks about the history of this group and that it indeed was labeled as a foreign domestic terrorist organization back in 1997. And then I guess it got off the list somehow. But yet we have a lot of people, some of them I like and know, that are supporting this group. Why?
Because how you package a gift, how you
package it?
Yeah, of course. If you have a bomb, and you put it in a box, and you put this colorful green and red and snow and sparkling colors outside, be like, wow, I would love to have that gift. It's a bomb. It's a problem. Muslims know how to color themselves in all these different colors, which is attractive colors. Muslims know how to join any group. I mean, for heaven's sake, we got 2 Muslim mosques in America today, one in New York, the other one in California, gay and lesbian mosques. Literally, the imams are gays and lesbians. They stand together praying towards Mecca, men next to man, next to woman, like husband and wife, Muslim, gay and lesbian in America. They can be any color, they can be any shape, they can be any size. They literally will join the devil if it appeared in any shape and form because they belong to the devil. And guess what? You wait until you open that gift and you're going to hear the click, 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 click. And that click will stop and then you're going to hear two simple words. But American people do not say anything wrong with them. It is the words Allahu Akbar. And then you're going to hear one big bomb, one big noise. And that's the last thing you're going to hear out of that wonderful thing you're proud to have in your country. And you want to have more of them. God help us. That is exactly the truth about Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So you don't know Islam, you don't know the deception. Allah is the best deceiver. It is written, they deceive and Allah deceive, and Allah is the best deceiver. They follow the best deceiver. They know how to fit in anything, at any size, at any shape, by any color. And when the box stop clicking and you hear the words Allahu Akbar, it's too late.
It's too late. And so we have people in the arena of religion. Islam is not a threat to the church. We have people in the GOP, the RNC, the conservative world, the America First world, the MAGA world saying, MEK, they have a great 10-point plan. Have you read their 10-point plan? I mean, it's like fits on a napkin. It's pretty small. What do you know about this group? I played a little bit of this last night. It bears replaying now because so many of you are confused, and I can understand why. And part of our job here is to help you understand the times and be discerning. And that means we have to have knowledge, acquisition of truth, so we can have wisdom, application of truth. Listen to this video by this man warning about this group, MEK.
The PMOI, or People's Mujahideen Organizations of Iran, also known as NCRI or MEK, is a radical, political, Marxist Islamic militant organization.
All right, is a militant Islamic Marxist organization. They're even trying to recast their name from MEK to something else, keep everybody confused. Listen to this.
Mujahideen Khalq was founded in 1965 by 6 radical Muslim students recruited by the Russian Marxist movements to overthrow the Shah.
Oh, Marxist and Islamist, the red-green axis, you don't say.
Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, and created an Islamic Republic. They based the organization in Lebanon to give their early members military training inside Palestinian Liberation Organization camp.
Oh, wow, they were working with the PLO. Huh. And we have a picture of the leader of MEK that was taken not too long ago with Abbas of the PLO, who I think did his doctoral dissertation on the fact that the Holocaust, he says, was fake. Okay, so we got RNC, GOP, America First people praising MEK, wanting their people to be in charge of Iran, and they're, falling right into the trap because they're not discerning.
They returned to Iran.
Or maybe because, I don't know, maybe there's a lot of money. I'm told there's lots of money sloshing around. Here we go.
To fight against Shah with guerrilla attacks, assassinating and terrorizing hundreds of people over a decade.
The people in this group are hiding their faces because they do not want to be able to be identified by Sabak, by the people of the Shah. They are members of the Muslim movement, united in their determination to bring down the Shah. All of them are professional people or students at the university. Why are you people so against the Shah? Iran moving into the 20th century. What's wrong with
Yes, there's an outsider who comes to Iran who definitely would not see what is going deeply within the people.
And that is?
And that is the misery, and that is injustice and lack of freedom.
Oh, yeah, because once they took over, woo-wee, they had so much freedom. They were just so tired of freedom. They were tired of winning. They were winning and freedom. They were drowning in freedom when these guys took over. And yeah, here they were. You don't have freedom. Doesn't that sound like the Islamists and the Marxists in America today? You don't have freedom. You're oppressed by the Christian, the capitalist, the bourgeoisie. We have to have rent controls. We have to take your private property. We're going to give you freedom. Really? Folks, pay attention. This is not a new game. It's the same playbook.
Will the fighting go on until the Shah is out? Or do you think with the military government here in Iran now that you're going to have to bide your time for some months or some years?
I think the fighting will go on. And they will fight till their last drop of blood.
After the Islamic Revolution in August 1979, Masoud Rajavi, the leader of PMOI, a totalitarian ideological organization, got into power struggle with Khomeini. PMOI refused to participate in a December 1979 Iranian constitutional referendum organized by the Islamic Republican Party to ratify the constitution that the Assembly of Experts drafted.
Well, there you go. Khomeini couldn't even get along with them. And they split, and a bunch of them ran, and they're here in the U.S. and around, jumping around other countries, and I guess they want to run Iran. Talk about going from the fire to the, to the pan. 1-800-347-9829, 1-800-347-9829. Phone lines open.
You woke up with a sore throat and a low-grade fever. You know you are getting sick, so here's your choices. You can get sicker and miss work. Try to see a doctor this week or sit hours in a crowded waiting room at urgent care.
I have a smarter option for you. Open your medical emergency kit. Match your symptoms to doctor-recommended prescription in your booklet and take the right meds now and get well faster.
This is not a first aid kit. It's like having an urgent care in your home. It includes doctor-prescribed medications to treat over 39 medical issues like respiratory infections, strep throat, pneumonia, UTIs, and more.
No waiting to see the doctor and no standing in line at the pharmacy. It's right here.
Every home should have at least one medical emergency kit, and here's how to order.
Go to worldviewhealthcare.com. Your kit to treat dozens of common and serious illnesses is rushed to your door. worldviewhealthcare.com. That's worldviewhealthcare.com.
The emergency kit available at worldviewhealthcare.com. Make sure you don't have to go to urgent care. I got pneumonia. I didn't have to go. I took this last year. Stayed at home. Went to bed. All right. Welcome back. Glad you're with us. 1-800-347-9829. 1-800-347-9829. Your thoughts, your comments, your questions. Usama Dakdok. He is at thestraightway.org. Thestraightway.org. The question here is, are Americans paying attention to Iran? A lot of them are not, because a lot of the mainstream media is only mentioning it very quickly and moving on because it doesn't fit the narrative. But yet we should be using what's happening in Iran, what has happened in Egypt, to warn Americans. This is already underway here in the United States of America. If you want to get where your kids and grandkids are in the street, 20,000 plus, shot dead, shot in the face. I got video footage today of them shooting some of these young people in the back, going into the hospitals, dragging them out of their hospital beds. They now are reportedly killing people who aren't even protesting on the street. They're going to their homes and arresting them. They're wanting them to buy back the bodies of their dead child. Let's go to the phone lines. 1-800-347-9829. George, line 1 in Illinois. George, thank you for calling in. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that Islam is the teachings of the doctrines of demons. And the people who are doing all this killing are demon-possessed. Just like a Christian cannot be demon-possessed, they're Holy Spirit-possessed. There is definitely light and darkness at war here.
I agree. This is an Ephesians 6 situation, no doubt about it. Let's go to John in Pennsylvania, line 4. John, how are you doing, John?
Very good, Brian. Good talk. Listen, I wanted to ask Usama, what can you tell us about this Dr. Zuhdi Jasser? We always see him on conservative media.
Okay, are you trying to gaslight Usama by asking that question, John? Because that's a great way to gaslight Usama, is to bring up Zuhdi Jasser. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well,
look out, guys. Back out. Get ready. Here we go.
It's very simple. It's very simple. Zuhdi Jasser family built a huge mosque in Arizona, I believe. I don't know where exactly, Arizona. Zuhdi Jasser is a propagandist who are trying to paint Islam in a beautiful picture. Remember the color paper which you cover the bomb with? That is Zuhdi Jasser. There is no moderate Islam. There is no moderate Muslim. They are literally demon-possessed. Kair did not like me for saying Muslims are worse than cancer and they are demon-possessed. It's true. Think about Muhammad, his early companion. Think about the Muslim of today who hold another man and cut his head off like you kill a chicken. These are demon possession actions. And that's exactly what Muslims are. And Zuhdi Jasser will not debate anyone. We've been challenging him for debate now for over 20 years. I just want him to tell the American people, where did he come up with this beautiful, loving, wonderful, great Islam? Give me a verse, man. I'm not asking for a chapter in the Quran or an entire book for Muhammad. Just a verse in the Quran, unabrogated verse which support what he's teaching. But the sad thing is, American people will not listen to us, and they will not listen to the real Muslims, but they would love to listen to Zuhdi Jasser because he will tickle their ears, makes them feel good about Islam.
Yeah.
God help us.
And who's going to come to our aid? Here, we think that President Trump is likely going to do something in the next 24 hours. But who will come to our aid when it's our children, our grandchildren that are in the streets being slaughtered by the Islamists in America in 10, 20 plus years? Because that's coming, yes or no?
Nobody will come to help.
But is that coming? If we stay on this track?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Brandon, I see the cancer, the small, tiny cancer spread all over America.
Yep.
You don't expect a person to have a cancer to live for a long time.
Yep. Let's go to John. John, line 4. John, thanks for calling in, John, from Pennsylvania. I already had John. Lee, line 2. Lee from Las Vegas. Hello, Lee.
Hi, my name is Lee. Originally, I'm a Christian from Beirut, Lebanon. I agree with the Egyptian guy that's talking.
Yeah, Usama, yep.
There is no Muslim is a good Muslim. No, I agree with him 100%. I've seen it in my own eyes. I was captured for 92 days myself. So I agree with them, and they're all in between us here in the United States. They hate the United States, they hate the Jews, but yet they still live here.
Wow. Wow. You were captured for 92 days. Tell our audience who captured you. Who captured you?
Hezbollah.
How'd you get free?
They just told me, go tell the Christians what we did to you.
How long you been in America? How long you been here, Lee?
42 years.
And you're a Christian?
Yes.
Praise the Lord. Lee, thank you. I hope you'll call in again, will you?
Thank you.
Yeah, call in. We'd love to hear more from you. What a great call. Wow. Let's go to Paul, line 1. Paul, thanks for calling in today, Paul.
Yes, this is Paul from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have a question. What does the acronym NEK stand for?
Well, it stands for a word or series of words that I cannot pronounce, but I can put it up on the screen and let Usama try it because he's so gifted at all that. Let's see. That's page 4. All right, there it is. How you say that, Usama? Mujahideen
The Mujahideen is Al-Mujahideen, those who perform jihad.
That's what it's called. Those who perform jihad. That's what that means.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad, by the way, that it's MEK instead of having to say that every time?
Yeah. Well, it's a problem when we say initials. I don't even know half of the initial what they mean, but it's all about those who are willing to die for the sake of Allah killing us. That's what it is.
Does that help you out, Paul?
Yes, it helps me out very much. So
Thank you.
We probably can't defeat the Islamist people even with love, even though it's much the Christian way. It'd be much the only way in many ways. But really, it is that, yes, we have to stop the killing.
Indeed. Thank you, Paul. Let me go to Lynn. Lynn, you got like 15 seconds. Go ahead, Lynn from Indiana.
Hi, I was asking for my grandfather. He was really concerned about how, Iran not even a year ago was saying bitter things about Israel and America and how they could be asking us now for help. Could this be?
Well, it's the difference. Let's not confuse. Yeah, great question. Don't confuse the leadership of Iran with the people. Many of those people are not Islamists. They're Persian. They hate the leadership. They want to be friends with Iran. That's why the prime minister is talking to them. So hope that answers the question. And let this be a lesson, by the way, what happens when you disarm a people and you don't have the Second Amendment. And that's what the Marxists and Islamists want here in America. All right, stay tuned for Crosstalk. May God save America. Take care.
This has been...
And we're back with WROS out of Jacksonville, Florida, and you here on Worldview Tube. Great question by Lynn for her grandfather, because a lot of people are confused. Again, and that's because the media is not doing the job that they should be doing, explaining these world events, right? So a lot of people would say, well, wait a minute, I thought Iran hated America. I thought they hate Israel. I thought they were talking trash about us. Now they want help. No, don't confuse the Iranian people with the mullahs and the cleric and the supreme leader any more than you confuse the Christians and the patriots with the deep state. Two different groups.
Sure. Well, absolutely, because, and that, by the way, the media are, sometimes they take advantage of the ignorancy or when we don't have enough knowledge about what we're talking about. So that's why the American people do not see why we're going to help those Iranian people who hate us. I mean, they were shouting death to Israel. Yeah, that's not the Iranian we're helping right now. We're right now actually helping the Iranian who have the guts to stand up in the streets of Tehran burning the Quran. I mean, I never thought in my life, Brandon, that I would see Muslims in Iran burning the Quran. You could not burn the Quran in America. But the Muslims...
You just said Muslims in Iran burning the Quran. But a lot of those are not Muslims. But those that are burning it, they're like Shahram Hadian's daddy, who was a beer-drinking, pork-eating Muslim, who was Muslim by birth, not by practice.
No. Brother Brandon, it's not just the one who was not living the teaching of Islam, the one who rejected Islam for literally the last 40-some years, from 1979 or 78, when, God bless his soul, Jimmy Carter gave Iran to the Khomeini and his people. I mean, literally, for all these years, Believe it, Brandon, if you go to any Muslim country, if you go to Egypt right now, do you really believe that all the Egyptians are Muslims who follow the Quran, who believe in Islam? There are plenty of Muslims in Egypt. They don't believe in Muhammad to be a prophet. They know, especially throughout the ministry we have been doing for the last 20-some years with the internet, that Muhammad was a child molester. Muhammad is a pedophile. Muhammad is a sex offender. He's a prophet pretender. He's an adulterer. He's thief. So those Muslims of Egypt left Islam. But guess what? They still have to go to the mosque to pretend they're praying. They still have to do the things of Islam. Otherwise, the neighbors who are real Muslim will treat them as Allah commands them to be treated. They are hypocrites. And in Islam, Quran 9:73, Allah said to Muhammad, as a Muslim believer, to perform jihad against the hypocrites as much as they perform jihad against the Christians and the Jews. Wipes them out. And Allah actually created a very special place in hell. It's hell number 7. Because in Islam, there are 7 hells. The first one for the Muslims, the second one for the Christians, the third one for the Jews, the fourth one for the Sabaean idol worshippers, the fifth one for the last one, number 7, is for the Muslims. Which Muslims? The hypocrites. And by the way, the longer, the deeper you go in these hells, the hotter it gets. 700 degrees every time you go down. Only the Muslims of hell number 1 will be removed from hell to paradise after whatever time Allah chose. But for the rest, the Christian to the bottom one, the hypocrites, they will be in hell forever. So they know in Egypt, they know in Saudi Arabia, they know in Iran, they know in every Muslim country that Islam is not true. Muhammad is not a prophet. It makes no sense, especially educated one who can, wait a minute, Allah said the earth is flat, the earth is not flat. Allah said there's 7 earths, there's only 1 earth. Allah said this, Allah said that, that's wrong. So they reject Islam, but they have to pretend to accept Islam. Otherwise, they will be known by the Muslims of their country, who most likely are in charge of them, as in the case of Iran or in the case of Egypt, the Khomeini and his people, and the Muslim Brotherhood and their people. They will be known to be hypocrites. And guess what? They'll be crushed. They'll be killed. So if we can free the Iranians who do not believe in Islam, they are Muslims because their name is Muhammad and Fatima and Khadija and Ali and Barack and Hussein and Obama and all these wonderful Muslim names. But in reality, they're not Muslim in their heart. And they are looking for the chance to be set free from the savage cult of Islam. And if we can do that, there's a greater opportunity that they will know the truth of the love of Christ and they become a Christian.
Well, it was great to have that caller call in who's a Christian that had been in Beirut. Look, this is video footage coming out of Iran. I guess they're going into the hospitals. Going into the hospitals, and Annie's telling us that the police and the soldiers are going in there. They're dragging injured protesters out of there, dragging them straight to jail. I've got another video where some young people are running from them, and they are shooting them in the back. They're shooting them in the back. Here's a question for you. Can we take some of these folks, like up in Minnesota? Can we take some of these gals, some of these, how do we describe them?
The protesters, the peaceful protesters.
Yeah, can we take some of these girls, these gals up there, and exchange them for the other one, like the beautiful Iranian girl who's lighting her cigarette with a burning picture of Khomeini? I think we should do a swap. I'll take the gal like Annie there, who's in Iran, looks like a young Annie, and they can have all those liberal butch women from Minnesota that are out protesting ICE.
Yeah, Brandon, when I see what's happening in Minnesota and the movement of these young men and young women, the liberal Americans, I feel literally there is the stupidest people who ever walked on the face of the earth. B, they are demon possessed. C, they're mentally ill. I mean, I don't know how can you describe what's going on in Minnesota. And it's sad. It's sad.
TheStraightWay.org, TheStraightWay.org. Thank you, Usama. And thank you, guys. Be back tonight. Worldview Report, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. The Brand House Live, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. May God save America and the freedom fighters in Iran.
Amen.
Colonel Rob Maness says a life